everyone and welcome to my channel The Skill School. So today we'll start with the basic of programming, which is writing a pseudocode. So pseudocode is nothing but a description of what we are trying to do and converting that natural language into a programming language. If I say in simple words, converting your logic from natural language of what we use into a machine language, something like that. So pseudocode is nothing but some detailed steps in the process of developing or writing a program. So these are the steps, or you can think of it as a template. So before writing a code or before solving a problem, we write some steps. Okay, this is my problem statement. These are the things that will come into picture for me to solve this problem. And then step by step, you have all the steps written to your written in your mind, or you'll take a notepad and write it there itself, and then you'll convert those all things into a programming language, which can be anything: C, Java, Python, all those things. So the pseudocode is nothing but a general description kind of thing. And let's go on to something different, which is algorithm. So algorithm is nothing but a mathematical process to solve a problem using some steps. Let's write it first. So algorithm is nothing but the number of steps that defines not just how to do things, so let's go on to the next thing, which is algorithm. So in pseudocode, we have a descriptions which we have written. Now the algorithm comes into picture, which is like a detailed description of not only what we need, but also how to do it. So it is like a set of instructions. Each step should be numbered, each step must be completed, and it should be error free. So we need to define each and every step. So let's suppose we have a problem wherein we have to design an algorithm for finding the sum of two numbers. So what will be the step 1? Let's start. To start, then step 2 will be read the number 1, read the number 1 provided, and also number 2. What will be the next step? If you have both the numbers, you'll start adding them and you'll find a sum of number 1 and number 2. This will be your step 3. The next comes the step 4, which is like printing your number onto the screen, printing the sum, right? And the step 5, stop the program and you are done. So this is something which is like a algorithm which you can write. So here it's not only what you can say, a specific steps we are providing in order to write a or in order to solve our problem, right? So this is something we think of as an algorithm. Now you must be thinking, now what is the difference between a pseudo code and algorithm, right? So let's see what is an algorithm. So algorithm is nothing but a logical steps or procedure, you can say, logical procedure to solve a problem. It's more about the logic and idea on how to solve a problem. Instead of how it's written. Let's suppose a simple example. We take an example of making tea. So we have to write an algorithm on how to make tea, right? So the first steps that come into picture is boil the water, add tea leaves, add milk, and also sugar if you need, and then stir and serve. These are the logical steps that we follow. So it doesn't matter how we have to describe it or how we have to code it. It's just the logic. We have the logic clear to us, and then comes the pseudo part. So the pseudo code is the way to represent an algorithm in a format that looks like programming code. But it's not written in any specific programming language. It's something like plain English and somewhat a real code, so that a human can understand it, a normal human being who is not into too much of programming, so that they can understand, and later on some point of time they can convert it into a actual code. So let's write it. So pseudo code is a way to represent the algorithm. The algorithm means the logic that we have written. Algorithm in a format that looks halfway like a programming language, right? It is your simple English, but it needs some steps, right? So let's start how we can write the pseudo code for just making tea. So we'll start with let's begin your program. Then you have to boil water, add tea leaves, add milk, then sugar, then stir, serve, and then stop the program or end it, right? So these are the some steps which at a later point of time you can change it into a program. So algorithm is nothing but the idea or the logic behind any problem. Pseudocode is nothing but your logic written in half English, which can be converted into code at a later point of time. So yeah, if we have already discussed the algorithm for the sum of two numbers, let's suppose if we are asked to write the pseudocode, just write the pseudocode for the addition of two number, right? So what we can do is the step one will be begin Okay, then comes like taking the input. We'll see our algorithm, and then we'll go step by step. So that is read the number. So the user will provide some input, or your friend, if he is asking you, so he'll provide some input. So okay, we can write it in this way: input A or B, or you can write it as number 1, number 2, like that. Okay, then the next thing comes, which is finding the sum, right? So we can simply add a third variable, or leave it like a third variable, just put it as sum, and then we can do A plus B, and then print. This is what we were doing in our logic as well. We were printing it, and then it's the end, right? This is the pseudocode, which at the later point of time can be converted into any programming code, right? So this is a very basic of how pseudocode and algorithm work. Let's take another example, which can be something like to calculate or to find the largest of two numbers. So the algorithm to find the largest of two numbers, right? So what will be the step 1? Step 1 is start. Step 2, read the input, because that's what we do, right? We take the input from a user, or yeah, something like that. So we take a input, the numbers A and B. Now the step 3 will be to compare, right? If A is greater than B, then which is largest? A, obviously. If not, then B is the one, right? So if A is largest, print A. If B is largest, print B. And the next step will be to stop or end the program. This is a simple algorithm. Now if we come to the pseudo code for this, we can start with begin the program, input, correct, A and B. Now here comes if A is greater than B, then you have to print A, else print B. This is simple English. And just end this if else loop. If else loop, will see more about this when we start with the basics of C programming or any other programming language. So end this loop. So we'll keep it like end if, and then just end the program. So this is how we write the algorithm as well as the pseudocode. So I have a little homework for you. So what you can do, you can write an algorithm to find the area of square, and also write the pseudocode for the same. So whenever you go for solving any question, this you will think that it's very easy in the beginning, but whenever you go on solving a difficult problem, you'll see that writing an algorithm is like giving you a way on how you can solve the problem. So this is all I have for today. Thank you so much, and if you like my video, please like and share.